Hi, everybody. Sherri Leopold here again. So excited to be here with another incredible Wow Warrior for 2026. Welcome, Michele Klawitter.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's still one of those things I'm like, really?
I love that. And you know what? You have the most humble heart, Michele, which is actually one of the beautiful, I think, attributes of you. Now, we've met many years ago, actually, in network marketing and are now in different companies and stuff, but have remained friends. And I've watched your growth over the years. And I think that transformation has been one of the most inspirational journeys ever. So I do first off, before we even get into your story at all or anything about you, I do just really want to say congratulations on being that Wow Warrior for 2026. We are very pleased to have you part of our community.
Thank you. Really, I've been watching you ever since you started doing that. And I just think it's just so inspirational what you're doing. And you're just going out there and you're doing it and you're like helping lift these other women up. So thank you.
That is a true characteristic of a wild warrior. So I want to ask you, Michele, what does it mean to you when you hear the words woman of worth warrior? So what does it personally mean to you?
I guess it's like you feel worthy enough to stand up for yourself, to start working more on loving yourself. For the longest time, I would say I have to love myself. I'm working on loving myself. And then I saw something that was like, if you're working on loving yourself, you already love yourself, or else you wouldn't even try. And that was one of those things I was like, so I'm worthy of my own love. And I stopped looking for it outwardly. It's one of those things where love is like the biggest thing in my life. And I don't mean like partner love, internal love, and loving where you're at, loving who you are, loving what you're doing, all of that.
Absolutely. Everybody knows why I love you now. Because that's absolutely a truth. And you keep pointing to actually the characteristics of a wild warrior, which is also lifting other women, which you mentioned, but also knowing that worth without having to get that third party validation. And that's really who we want to shine a light on and who we want to lift up to show other women it can be done, but it's also a process. We just don't wake up one day and feel worthy. It is a process and it is something that we go through, and it is something that some days we have better days than others, and we are still real with ourselves. But at the end of the day, we do always know that we are worthy.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, speaking of that, what moment, Michele, would you say most shaped your journey into owning your own worth? Is there some, and I know it's a journey, but was there some big sort of epiphany or highlighted moment that you're like, wow, this really reminds me of who I am?
Gosh, that's really a difficult question. It wasn't until about 10 years ago that I even discovered like personal development and things like that. I've been through a lot and I never really did therapy or anything. I just lived life hour by hour sometimes. Like I never looked further into the future other than what was for dinner or what are we doing tomorrow or whatever. And then I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, just somebody had, there were so many people that would come up to me that we would meet at conventions or whatever, and they would say they were inspired by me. And I kept going, me? I'm just me. And after probably the 10th or 11th time of saying that throughout the years, it came to me that, yes, it is just me. And I'm good. I have a great heart. I don't ever go out there trying to push the next thing on somebody because I want to be higher status or I want to earn a lot of money or I want to do this or the other. It's always been about helping people. And that's the biggest thing about me is I want to help others and I want to help lift others and show others that no matter what has happened in your past, you can do what you want to do and grow and be okay and be a kind person regardless of what's happened to you in your past.
See, I love that. You're just going to go right down the whole list of criteria of a wild warrior in every question. It's perfect. I love it. So, that being said, it actually leads really beautifully to the next question that I want to ask you. And that's, Michele, who are you called to serve and why does it matter to you? Who is it? And you said you want to help. And who is it that you feel heart-centered led to help?
So that's something that a lot of people are like, oh, I'm looking at the single moms that are 30 years old that are doing this or that or the other. For me, I don't like niching it down like that, because then what about those people that possibly would need my help and they're not part of that niche? Don't they deserve my help as well? So it's, for me, it's anybody who wants my help and that I would be able to help them, even if it's just directing them elsewhere. Okay, yeah, that's not something I would be good at, but this will be a good resource for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to help people that are looking to get past their past and still be a good person and wanting to be successful in life. And success in life is different for everybody. Success to you, Sherri, is one thing, success to me is another. And it's not something that's ever like an end goal, because once I get to whatever that point of success was, I want to go further. That's the same for anybody. So that's pretty much like, I've never, like, I've had many people say, oh, you have to niche it down. You have to niche it down. I don't like this, just niching it down and not, and telling somebody, I can't help you because you're not a single mom, or I can't help you because you're a guy, or I can't help you because you're only 20. I don't niche it down like that. It's whoever would want my help.
And see, I think that you did identify a niche. You said somebody who wants to overcome their past and live an exceptional life and live the best quality life, but also be the best version of themselves. That's what I heard you say. That is a niche, right? Because some people, most people, they have a past, but most people have some forms of trauma, etc. And I always say a wild warrior always has a past, and they always have traumas. They always come and shine, scars and all. And that's the thing. We don't try to hide that we have scars. It's one of the differences. We're proud of the scars. That shows that we are survivors and have moved through it, haven't pushed it down. We've moved through it. So yeah, we're proud of our scars and battle wounds, whatever you want to call them. Made us better, and then we're better for others. So I love that answer. Thank you for sharing that. So that being said, I do know, and I have a feeling I know who you're going to say in this next question, but I want to ask you because you've been an inspiration for many people along the way, myself included. So I would like to ask you, Michele, what woman, or is there a woman who has inspired your life along the way, or your style of leadership or how you lead, that you would acknowledge for that inspiration?
It's funny you say that, because that changes. So growing up, it was my mom. It was my Aunt Terry, for different reasons, right? And then as an adult, and once I definitely started this personal development story, it was the woman that I would see that they had a past and they got to a certain point, and I was like, if they can do it, why can't I? And so for me, it's always been whatever woman or women I have looked at and been like, wow, I want to do that. And that they're willing to reach down and take my hand and help me. And because that's what I want to be. I want to be that woman that would reach down and help lift somebody up and carry them wherever they need to go until they can stand on their own 2 feet. So there's been a lot of women in the past that have been that person, but not one particular woman has ever been just that person. It's always been just any woman. Like people my mom's age and your age and my Aunt Terry's age, like making it through those years that you had to really fight to get what you needed. I was telling my son Jacob this the other day. It's just looking back, just literally, I mean, I was born in 76, and it's like the 70s and 80s, looking at that compared to what us as women can do now in 2026, it's just mind blowing. And yet, look where you went. Look how you went through it. And so it's like any woman that has defied the odds and not let that past trauma get to them and has shown up for others and been to the top.
Love that. See, that's why we do the Wow Warrior honorees, because we are not celebrating celebrities, so to speak. We're celebrating everyday women heroes, like women who are doing the thing right now to get the thing. Like they're ones that are standing up and standing out as that unrepeatable miracle that they are. They know their worth. It's identifying that person that you can say exactly what you said. I can do that. She can do it. Like it's literally showing you a real life example that it can be done. So you just, thank you for just highlighting all of the criteria today. It's awesome. So I want to ask this question. How do you help other women stop self-doubt or self-bullying, as I call it, when we are in that moment or whatever where we're feeling like less than, or where we might be not being kind to ourselves, and we're forgetting that we can stand up and stand out and stand in our worth? How would you help somebody that was struggling in that moment, Michele?
So first, I want to say there is no ever stopping it ever. Like it's gonna pop up. I call it the inner bully or the inner monster, and it's not that your mind is trying to be mean to you. It's in its own way trying to protect you. And so when you said this about me for this, and I was like, why me? That was that inner monster saying, yeah, because you're not worthy. What do you think? That's one of the things I push through almost daily, is knowing that I'm worthy of whatever is on my mind that day. I deserve it. I'm worthy. I'm enough. Like I love those I am statements. But when it's happening, it is so hard sometimes to not let that inner monster just take over. And so you have to lean on the opposite side of it. And you have to ask yourself, if what that inner monster is saying to you, is that honestly the truth? Like, really, is that the truth? Or is that monster trying to shield you from the unknown of whatever it is? Like with this new company that I'm in, of course, it was like, oh, yeah, you're never going to be successful there because you already had your time. It's over. How would my inner monster know that? It can't tell the future. If it did, I would have already won the lottery by now. But no, it's not. It doesn't know. It doesn't know what your future is. Nobody can tell the future unless you're able to do that. And if you are, please contact me because I have questions for you. But just whatever that inner monster is saying, whatever that inner bully, like for me, a lot of it has been my physical, how I look. And so when it's trying to say something like, oh, your face is wrong or whatever, then I'd say the opposite, even if I don't believe it at the time. If it's saying you're never going to be good, then I'm going to be as great as I can be. If it's saying you'll never be friends with so and so, and that's not supposed to be my friend. If it's saying whatever it is saying, like it's whatever the opposite is, and I repeat it until I start believing in it. And I call that my hope. So it's like I have my inner monster and I have my inner hope, and they fight each other all the time, but they fight each other out of love. So I don't hate that inner monster. I'm not mad at that inner monster. I know it's just trying to protect me like it's done all these years. I just have to remind it that it doesn't need to anymore.
And I always say, I'm the boss of me. I'm the boss. Applesauce is a saying that I say all the time. And then you get to choose, right? And that's the thing. And that's actually another hallmark of a WoW warrior, is actually that ability to go through that process, just like you said, and actually say, what is truth here? And also, even something can be true, like you're feeling low or whatever, that can be true, but it doesn't mean you have to make the choice to stay there. We still
Yeah.
ultimately have the same choice of what we hold on to and what we hold. So I think, that whole process, this is why when we talk about the journey, it's not just about that, it's the whole journey, right?
Yeah.
And it is a collective whole. And the whole journey is an inspiration, which is why we shine a light on you all year long in 2026. I want to ask you, is there one word of advice that you would give just real quickly that you would offer out to a woman who knows she's meant for more, but she's still hesitating?
Gosh. So I just take this from personal experience because I have hesitated numerous times over things. When you're hesitating, sit on it for 24, 48 hours and ask yourself why you're hesitating. Are you hesitating because it can be harmful to you? Then that's obviously okay. But if you're hesitating because you've got fear, what is that fear of? Is it fear of what other people are going to say? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of failure? Whatever that fear is, then you sit down even more. Okay. So let's say it's a fear of failure. You're going to fail at whatever it is you're going to try to do. When you niche that down even more, you're still worried about the judgment of others. Almost all fears, when you keep going down, is because you don't want to be embarrassed, or you don't want other people to make fun of you, or you don't want other people to say, see, I knew she couldn't do it. So that's when you have to turn it around and be like, okay, but would it help me? What is the potential that it could help me? And you have to be okay with setting that boundary that what you're about to do is for you, not for anybody else. It can be for you and your family if necessary, but don't let your family's needs be above yours. It's okay to love yourself enough to make a decision for yourself. When I recently decided to leave the one company I'd been with for almost 10 years, it was not a quick decision. And it was not 24 and 48 hours for me. It was months of watching others and wanting to do it. But I was so afraid of who I might lose and the potential of losing what I had, even though I was hanging on to it so hard. It was like I tell people, you're sitting in this comfy, soft blanket and you don't want to go out there because it's cold. But then you start noticing within that blanket, there's actually thorns. And it actually is painful to stay in that blanket. And when you finally take it off and you step over there, you realize it's not as cold as you thought it was. And it's okay if you go to do something and you aren't as successful over there as you thought you were going to be. Be proud of the fact that you even took that step, because there's many people that won't.
100%. Actually, really sage advice. And a lot of women are presented with opportunities and different things, and they fear themselves out of things by not trusting their own inner guidance and their own inner wisdom. So excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing, Michele. So I know people are going to be inspired by your journey. I absolutely have been all these years, and I am so proud to call you friend. How would you like people to connect with you, Michele?
The easiest way to connect with me is just to find me on Facebook. I believe my profile is pretty open so that anybody can find me, and then they can just shoot me a message, shoot me a friend request, whatever. I don't gatekeep, so to say, other than I will check and make sure it's a real profile.
There's that. Well, thank you so much, Michele. I'm honored, as I said, to call you friend. And I want to say once again, congratulations on being a WOW warrior for 2026. I adore you. I am honored to call you friend, and I am inspired by your journey. And thank you so much for being you.
Thank you. I appreciate you more than you realize.
Oh, thank you, Michele. And if anyone would like to learn more about the WOW Warrior platform, you can go to sherrileopold.com and find out more.